So welcome to part 2, ideology. And I'll start with a definition. So an ideology is a story of how the world is and should be, which is shared by members of a group. My example of an ideology comes from the particular group of neoclassical economists. They have a particular way of talking about the world, which you can see in some of the most commonly used economics textbooks. The discourse of neoclassical economics begins by dividing the world into certain kinds of people. There are consumers, workers, investors, owners, and so on. This is called functionalization because it's defining people in terms of their function. And the function of the consumer is just to fulfill their desires through buying products. They're not well-rounded, generous individuals who find well-being by spending time in nature or helping others. They just buy things. The discourse is based on a series of assumptions, all of which assume in one way or another that consumers are selfish. We believe that these assumptions hold for most people in most situations. More is better than less. Consumers always prefer more of any good to less. Consumers are never satisfied. While early on in the textbooks these are expressed clearly as being just assumptions, like we believe that these assumptions hold, later on they're treated as definite facts about the world. The textbooks express themselves with great certainty, what we call high modality. In this case, it's people want more than they can have, rather than many people want, or people probably want. In this example, the presupposition is that selfishness is an obvious, inextricable part of being a person. Politicians are people too. Self-interest is as powerful a motive for political actors as it is for consumers and firm owners. Politicians are people too, so they must be self-interested. So the underlying story is an unflattering one for humans, that we're fundamentally selfish. It results in a particular way of talking about the world that we see in economic textbooks. And the ideology has an impact on the world as we build systems that are centered around greed and competition for wealth. In fact, there's evidence that just reading about consumerism makes people care less about the environment and become more materialistic. There's also evidence that studying an economics degree makes people more selfish. And it's not hard to see why. If the story behind all the books is that humans are selfish, then where are readers going to learn to be altruistic and kind and caring?